Hello and welcome to Fernbank Science Center's The Sky This Week for May 9th through 15th, 2021. We begin the week with a brand new moon phase, work through some bright planets in the early morning and early evening skies as the week goes along. We'll have a thin crescent moon to observe by the end of the week and an excellent opportunity, if the weather cooperates, to watch the International Space Station fly high across the sky on the 15th. Starting off at the beginning of the week on the 10th, facing the north part of the sky at 9:30 in the evening. If you're not sure which way is north for your observing site, figure out which way the sun rises. That direction is the east. Put your right shoulder toward the eastern direction where the sun rises, and your nose will be facing north. At this time of year, early in the evening, the Big Dipper, part of Ursa Major, is visible in the early evening sky, fairly high up, a little bit more than halfway up the sky. These 7 bright stars form a cup or a bowl shape with a long handle, hence the Dipper term. The pattern is part of Ursa Major, the Big Bear, and this pattern is useful in finding the North Star. These 2 stars on the end of the bowl, sometimes called the pointers, lead you straight to Polaris, the North Star. It's on the end of the handle of the Little Dipper, a much smaller pattern with much dimmer stars. If you add in lines and names, see if you can find where the Big Dipper is. They're about halfway up the sky. Cup shape toward the bear's back. She's upside down. Here's her tail. Nose sticking out this way. A couple of feet up this way. Those 2 pointer stars point to Polaris on the end of the handle of the Little Dipper, part of Ursa Minor. See if you can find them without the lines and names. See if you can find the Big Dipper and the pointer stars and follow those to Polaris. So here's the Dipper, the bowl part, the handle part. Follow those 2 pointer stars to Polaris. And if you watch all night long, that one star, Polaris, appears to stand in one place. It doesn't move. Other stars appear to rise and set or move around the North Star. Earth's North Pole is pointing right close to that star out there in space, and that's the one star that appears to stand still. Very handy for direction finding. Find the North Star, and you can work out the other directions from there. Tuesday the 11th, we have a new moon. The moon has moved along its orbit a bit, and we're now at the place where the moon is in the same part of the sky as the sun. It's not going to be covering up the sun. We do not get a solar eclipse this month, but on Tuesday, May 11th, officially at 3 p.m., the moon is in its new phase, and it's the most distant moon of the year. The moon's orbit is not a perfect circle. Sometimes it's a little closer to the Earth, sometimes a little farther away. This year, on the 11th, the moon is 252,595 miles away from the Earth, farthest that it's going to be this whole year. Moving along in the week to the 14th, toward the end of this week, again, fairly early in the evening, bright planets in the early evening sky. Mars has been around for quite a long time. We've watched it over the last year. There are a few of the leftover wintertime stars. Sirius, brightest star in the whole night sky, no matter where you look on the Earth. And if you zoom in a little closer, zoom in on where those are, the 2 stars near the top of the sky, they're pretty high up at this time of year. These are the heads of the Gemini brothers, Castor and Pollux. Their feet are down here. Mars is right around their knees, and a very thin, slender, waxing crescent moon is visible just below the feet of the Gemini brothers on the 15th. Mercury and Venus, two bright planets that are closer to the sun than Earth is, but unfortunately they're behind the trees in this drawing. Let's look for another diagram from earthsky.org. Looking with trees not in the way. The planet Venus is the brighter one. It's closer to the horizon. Give it another month if you want to find it a little more easily. Right now it's pretty low in the sky. May 12th, if you have incredible eyesight, good weather, and a pair of binoculars, you might be able to find a very thin crescent moon, waxing crescent, near the planet Venus. By the 13th, the moon has moved along its orbit and appears fairly near where Mercury is on the sky. Again, these will not look like blobs, but like tiny, bright star-like objects. By the 14th, the moon has moved even further along, and by May 15th, the moon will appear near the planet Mars in the evening sky, just after the sun goes down. If you're really ambitious and want to get up early in the morning on May 15th, at 5:32 a.m., we begin a viewing of the International Space Station as it moves across the sky. In this image, it's like you're lying on your back on the ground, looking up at the sky. North is over on this side, south opposite, and the station will appear to rise in the northwest part of the sky. It will appear to zoom past that bright star Vega, through the tail of Cygnus the Swan, and disappear just a little to the left of Jupiter. Rather a shaky drawing of a line, but this is about what the orbit will look like as it moves across the sky. The space station has some new crew members aboard from a few weeks ago. Some of its other members are back on ground. The station moves really fast. It's really bright, brighter than an airplane and moving faster than an airplane. So between 5:32 a.m. and 5:38 a.m., if the weather cooperates, see if you can find the space station across the early morning sky. And as always, thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate paying attention to what's going on in the nighttime sky or the early morning. Please visit our website for Fernbank Science Center, www.fernbank.edu. Keep an eye on our Facebook page for Friday evening virtual planetarium programs and Saturday science. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week.